Hello, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I've got some drugstore newness to share with you. I have more stuff on the way that I'm super excited about. So there will be another one of these coming up soon. Let's go ahead and talk about all this makeup that I have been testing from the drugstore over the last week and my thoughts on all these new products. If you like these types of videos, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It lets me know that you guys like this style of video, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. All right, so starting with primer. There's three new really exciting primers. This primer is kind of the star of the show here. And they're all very different. So let's start with this new one from Essence. This is the Hello Good Stuff Glow Serum Primer. This is a hydrating and soothing base with watermelon water and niacinamide. If you think this sounds familiar, you would be right. The Glow Recipe Watermelon Serum has been a super popular product. It has gone viral, but it is very pricey. And this stuff is eerily similar, but a fraction of the cost. So the Glow Recipe one retails for $39. This retails for $5.99. The ingredient lists on both of these products are extremely similar. The first ingredient is water, followed pretty high up by glycerin, niacinamide, and of course the watermelon scent and watermelon extract in both of the products. So if you've been interested in that Glow Recipe one, just so you know, there is a very close dupe or alternative. So I have been testing this one. Let me show you guys the glow that it gives on the back of my hand. This would be really great for drier skin because it really just plumps and hydrates the skin. It smells very strongly of watermelon. Just a heads up if you are sensitive to fragrance, this is very strongly fragranced with watermelon. That being said, the Glow Recipe one is also fragranced. It also smells like watermelon. It has added fragrance, so that's not unique to the Essence product. But as you can see, like, look at the difference between the hydration on the two backs of my hands. What I'll say about this, you guys know I have a sensitivity to fragrance. Pretty hit or miss with me. Sometimes fragrances don't bother me as much. I don't know if it's about the formulation of the fragrance, about how fragranced the product is, but for my skin, this one felt a little bit uncomfortable. The actual product felt incredible, very hydrating, plumping. It really softens the skin and feels like the perfect prep for foundation. But after wearing it for a few minutes, I started kind of feeling that itchy feeling on my face, which happens to me when I'm irritated by a fragrance. So I actually ended up removing it. But like I said, on my hand, if I didn't have super sensitive skin, I think that this is a really nice product and a great alternative to the much more expensive Glow Recipe. All right, the next new primer that I have been testing out is this one by e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Sea Bright Putty Primer. So this is a putty primer with vitamin C infused in it. This retails for $12. It's enriched with 2% vitamin C and banana powder inspired pigments. It claims that your skin feels more revitalized, bright, and radiant, and gives a smooth, flawless complexion with or without makeup. So out of the full putty primer line, there's several of them now, this is by far the most hydrating. I like that it has the vitamin C in it. I don't know at that percentage how effective it is, but if you're looking for a putty primer that's like really gonna fill in your pores and do what the original putty primer claims to do, I don't feel like this is the product for that. This is a lot more of a thicker moisturizing primer. So you can see as I'm blending it out on my hand, kind of similar to the watermelon one by Essence, but I would say that one feels like a serum, kind of liquidy, whereas this one feels more like a cream or almost a cleansing balm, because it kind of melts down as you blend it. This is definitely not a blurring or mattifying product. You can see the shine on my hand. So for me in the summer, when I'm already going in with my moisturizer and my SPF and it is hot as all get out right now, I am not reaching for anything that's giving me this type of glow unless I am not wearing makeup that day. So this might be something that I reach back for in the winter time when I'm looking for more of a glow underneath my foundation. This is something that would be better for more dry skin types this time of year, but due to the thicker consistency and the glowiness, it's just not something that I found myself reaching for after I was done testing it. All right, the next primer is brand new from Milani. This is called the Milani Erase Base. This retails for $13.99, so pretty similar price point to the e.l.f. one. It claims that it was built to control blemishes and oil, all while providing a breakout-friendly base between your skin and makeup. It's enhanced with 2% salicylic acid and a lightweight gel texture. It helps extend wear time and control oil throughout the day. So of the 3 primers, this is the one that I like the best, and at least for this time of year. I'm experiencing some breakouts, probably because my face feels so congested from the heat and the sweat, and I'm looking for something to help kind of control oil, especially in my T-zone area. So I love that this is not only a mattifying oil controlling primer, but it also has tea tree oil and 2% salicylic acid. So I haven't noticed a huge difference. I'm not saying this is like gonna heal your acne, but if you have more oily skin, if you have more acne prone skin, this would probably be your favorite primer out of all of the Milani primers that they offer. I did not like their Shine, I forget what it was called. It's in the black tube. It's like their Shine Control Primer. No go for me. So if you have oily skin, you've been wanting to try a Milani primer, this is the one. All right, next up, e.l.f. launched 2 new eyeshadows that I was so excited for. For me personally, if there's one area of the drugstore that I think is lacking, it is in the eyeshadow department. I feel like everything else I can find something I love at the drugstore, whereas with eyeshadow, I struggle a little bit more. But when it comes to cream eyeshadow, I really love the Revlon ones and I really love the Kiko Milano ones, but it's really hard to find matte cream eyeshadows at the drugstore. That was a big request that I got after sharing the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick dupe, was people were like, I really don't like to wear shimmer on my lids. I'd love to have a matte option at the drugstore, and there just wasn't a great one until now. So they launched their No Budge Matte Eyeshadow Stick. I don't know what came over me, but I ordered this pink color. It's called Bombshell. I tested this out. I have 4 different eyeshadows to talk about right now, which is why this isn't the one on my eyes. But I did test this out. I did an 8-hour wear test. And let me first show you this color. It is pink pink. I feel like this is a very fun summery color, but I want to go back and purchase something a little bit more wearable than this. This is like a fun girls' night out type of color. And let me just tell you, this wore extremely well. I applied it all over my lid, just like this, and then I just used a blending brush and I blended out just the edges where the shadow bit my skin, and I left the rest untouched. And it blended easily and it lasted the whole day on me. One thing I noticed was right when I first applied it, it applied kind of a thick amount. So even as I was blending it out kind of around my crease, I noticed a little bit of creasing. So before that creasing had time to set, I went ahead and blended that part too, and just made sure that before it completely dried down that it looked how I wanted it to look. So I'd recommend that. Like if you are applying it, it's still kind of that tacky feeling before it dries down. Fix anything that looks a little bit off so that it sets to how you want it to set. Sort of like concealer under your eyes. You don't want to set it with a powder until you're happy with the way that it looks. It's the only tip I would give about applying this one. Moving on to the other one that I'm arguably more excited about. This is the e.l.f. No Budge Cream Eyeshadow. Put this on today just so you could kind of see it in action. I applied this the exact same way, just took a little bit more of a dense blending brush. I really like the one by ColourPop. Dipped it in here and just applied all over my lid and then blended it up through the crease. I'd suggest using one blending brush, like the denser one, to apply it, get it everywhere you want it to be, and then take a fluffier one and blend out those edges. So easy to work with, so creamy. I'd say Maybelline Tattoo eyeshadows, I feel like they're very drying, and this is not. This feels very creamy in texture. And again, after doing an 8-hour wear test on this, it lasted the entire day on me. At the end of the day, it looked a little bit more faded than at the very beginning of the day, but it faded very evenly and it looked still really good. Right, the other eyeshadows I have been testing are the Maybelline Shadow Block eyeshadows. The packaging on this is 3 different eyeshadows, 1, 2, 3. You know, we've got one shadow in here, one shadow in here, and one shadow in here. So it's kind of like a block of eyeshadows, which is just why it's called shadow blocks. Logical name. I do feel like, and maybe it's just an optical illusion, and it would be the same amount of packaging if it was just in like a trio. I'm picturing like the e.l.f. bite-sized shadows, but this feels like a lot of packaging and bulky for the amount of product that you're getting. You're only getting 3 of these like tiny little eyeshadows. When I first got these, I swatched them. So this is the deepest shade. The middle one is a shimmer. And then the lightest one is like a matte cream bone colored shadow. And when I first swatched them, and even now, the only color that swatched nicely was the shimmer shade. The matte shades were not super pigmented, but I found that they applied better to my actual lid. I'd say the pigment, the color payoff of the matte shadows and even the shimmer shadow is not gonna be like in your face super intense. It's very easy to work with, it's very user friendly because it is a little bit on the less pigmented side, but they feel very soft and not at all, they don't feel chalky, if that makes sense. They feel very buttery, go on in a really subtle way. So to do with that what you will. If you like a more natural looking eyeshadow and you don't want those blingy looking shimmers like the other eyeshadow I'm gonna talk about, that might be a pro for you. But if you like a lot of pigment out of your eyeshadows, I'd say at least the one that I got wasn't super pigmented. And then the other eyeshadow palette I've been testing, admittedly not as much as I've been testing the others. I've only tried this a couple of times, but this is the Essence Benvenuti Roma eyeshadow palette. Beautiful colors in this one. I liked that this has neutral colors and also pops of color. It's got the like bone colored matte, it's got the transition color, the deepening color, it's got shimmers, a good balance of mattes and shimmers. And I was really impressed by this. It has a little mirror in here. So when I compare this one to like the new Catrice one, this is the Rainforest Haze, which is also a really pigmented eyeshadow palette. It has no mirror, and this is $30, whereas this is $9.99. I would say the quality is very comparable and the price is very different. This shimmer shade in my inner corner today, and then I put this shade all over my lid. Super pigmented, easy to work with when I packed it on with my finger. And then this is the deepening shade that I used, was very blendable. So in comparison to the Maybelline swatches, let me show you how these swatch, just so you can see what I mean by like how pigmented the mattes are. And for all of these, I'm just doing one swipe. So this is just one swipe of these eyeshadows. So you can see the color payoff is pretty significantly different from the Maybelline ones. So this is more for people that want a lot of color payoff, a lot of pigment in their eyeshadows. I feel like the price point on these is great. I feel like Essence's eyeshadow formula is just getting better and better, and this is no exception. And then for eyeliner, I used this eyeliner a couple of videos ago. I used the brown one, and I really loved the brown shade because it almost had like a red clay tone to it, and I didn't even realize that it was a new release, so I wanted to quickly mention it. I'm wearing it in the shade black today. I'm gonna pay extra attention today and leave you guys a comment down below and let you guys know how it wears throughout the day if I do feel like the 30-hour wear claim is warranted. This retails for right around $10. Comes in really cool shades. Like I said, the brown shade is my favorite because it has a red undertone. It's got a nice little grip and a bendy, like very thin pen style applicator, which I find to be the easiest to apply with. So I will keep you guys posted on how this wears today, but like I said, every time I've worn the brown, I've had no issue. And speaking of new eyeliner, I tested this in my last waterproof makeup wear test, the new Essence Lash Princess Liner. This is the shade brown, so I won't talk about it too much, but this eyeliner, in my experience, has been very long lasting. I just find that the applicator is hard to work with. It's very bulky, it's not super bendy. So as much as I feel like the formula is a win here, the applicator is kind of a deal breaker for me. All right, the new mascara from Covergirl. This is the Simply Ageless Lash Plumping Mascara. It's hard to say. This retails for $10, and it claims that it's a primer, serum, and mascara in one with a hyaluronic complex for thicker, longer, stronger lashes in just 4 weeks. Looking at the ingredients, it looks like it has peptides, hyaluronic acid, glycerin, some good stuff in here. So this is the mascara I have on this side. You can see it's not the most like curling mascara, but I do really like the thick kind of curved wand that it has. It's a decent mascara, especially if you already have a good curl to your lashes. This is more of a natural mascara, but I feel like the fact that it has the serum in it kind of differentiates it and makes me have lower expectations about the performance of the mascara. Like if this is gonna do good things for my lashes, then I can sacrifice a little bit of the volume and the curl that I want. So it may also be a good idea to start with this and then layer on a more volumizing mascara so you can get the benefits out of this one and then the volumizing effect of another one. I can't speak to the efficacy of the serum, but if you like very natural looking lashes, you may enjoy this one. If you like va va boom, you won't. I've briefly talked about this one. This is the LA Girl Plush Lash Mascara. This is new from LA Girl. I mentioned it in my tubing mascaras video, but I wanted to quickly go over it in this What's New at the Drugstore as well. And I have it on this side. This does a lot more for curl, volume, and length than the Covergirl one. And if you can see, just straight on, these lashes look more prominent than these lashes. I was really excited about this because I love a good tubing mascara. I love the price point. But unfortunately, this did not work for me. It didn't come off in tubes. It gets very messy and it flaked on me. In fact, I just put it on and I can already see a flake and I haven't even gone outside. So I'd love to love it, I just don't. And just a quick update on the Essence Brow Like a Boss. This was also tested in my last video. I've used this a couple of other times, and this is a very long lasting product. So as much as I feel like the Lash Princess eyeliners were like the star of the show and the launch everyone was excited about, I think this one actually stole the show. And that is everything. Let me know what you guys think of these products down in the comments below. Again, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next one.